My name is Marguerite Van Komen, and I'm a snowbird ski patrolman. My dog's name is Frank. What a good boy, huh? What a good boy you are. I start every morning waking up and having breakfast with the dog, and then we finish every day having dinner together, but everything in the middle changes. We train them using their own instincts, so instead of hunt for dinner, they're hunting for humans. A lot of thought goes into choosing these dogs. Number one, they've got to be able to handle the cold. Number two, they got to be pretty hardy. And three, we're looking for very high drive dogs. The dog that is gonna chew your sofa up at home, we want that dog. The people, the mountain at Snowbird, it's just special. And everything you want to do is here in Salt Lake. Get off the plane, grab your gear from the luggage cart, and within 30 to 45 minutes, you're up here and skiing on snow. You know, Salt Lake is super unique. We have 4 full seasons. So you can come up, ski all morning till the snow gets a little too smushy, and then you go and hit 18 at the golf course at the bottom of the mouth, and then you can go out for a wonderful dinner and see theater. It's amazing how much you can fit into your day. And not only do we have everything that you want to do, but we have great people to do it with. Everyone wants to be outdoors, happy, and go and play. Every day is different, and I love that. I love showing up to work and going, what is on the plate today? Snowbird is my family, and Salt Lake is my home, and Frank is a great part of that. My name is Marguerite Van Komen. I'm a snowbird ski patrolman, and I am Salt Lake.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the hope
Welcome to Game Day Fun.
anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to the party!
Of thoughtful dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
our names, calling out our names.
Welcome to world-class research.
We'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab your
Welcome to the arts.
top, no trap. We are tough as nails. Come on, this is our land.
Welcome to real-world experiences.
We can go to that bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Love and what it does to those they hold near. So let's run till the water.
Welcome to new friends.
We can toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you listen,
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out our
Welcome to all you can imagine.
Though we might faint and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab it, walk and see. Those gray clouds look close, but we have come and gone.
Welcome to the University of Utah.
So get up and grab it, walk and see.
Thanks for calling the Salt Lake Visitor Center. If you have any questions, please leave a message and we'll get back to you.
Hello! I tell you what, I'm just going to put you on speaker. All right, a little about me. I'm a bit of a phenomenal skier, so I want to take my family on a vacay, which is short for vacation. Hope you don't mind the abbreviations. I'm just short of time today, so I need to sort of hurry things along. Just a few simple questions for you. They call Salt Lake Ski City, but you do ski in the mountains, right? I'm just picturing myself skiing down the sidewalk there next to the shops. Knowing my luck, I'll do one of my big flips and end up in the traffic. So I don't want that to be the case. Look, I've got to go. You're really keeping me here. Although I will say, I'm going to see your Utah Jazz play a basketball game. And I've heard there's a couple of Australians in the team. So here's my question. Are they causing you any trouble? I just had a thought. The average snowfall near Salt Lake is 500 inches. If I was to utilise all of that to build a giant snow person, would that be majestic or a bit scary? Oh, hey, listen, just quietly. I'm a big family guy. You know that, I've told you that. But after a few days with them, I'm going to need a drink. That's legal, right? I hear Utah has the youngest population of any state. So if I was to head down to one of your hot rockin' clubs or a social event, would there be a youth person in there that might be able to explain Snapchat to me? My kids just won't do it. Now, I've heard there's a bit of a Sharks versus Jets rivalry between the skiers and the snowboarders. And if I made that movie, would you watch it? Oh, when was your last Yeti sighting? Are you getting all this, by the way? I'm assuming you can rewind. The Utah state bird is a California gull. I mean, even you've got to admit that is confusing. I guess that's more of a statement than a question, but still I thought I'd bring it up. Now, your Ski City Super Pass, I take it that's part of the Marvel Universe. If I get that, will people call me the Winter Soldier Man? I really wish you could see this. All right, well, this would be costing me, so I better go. Thanks for everything. Bye.
Beth from the Salt Lake Visitor Center calling you back to answer your questions. First off, yes, you can absolutely drink here. We'd prefer if you ski in the mountains, and I'm happy to call you Winter Soldier.
My name is Marguerite Van Komen, and I'm a snowbird ski patrolman. My dog's name is Frank. What a good boy, huh? What a good boy you are. I start every morning waking up and having breakfast with the dog, and then we finish every day having dinner together, but everything in the middle changes. We train them using their own instincts. So instead of hunt for dinner, they're hunting for humans. 2, they gotta be pretty hardy. And 3, we're looking for very high drive dogs. The dog that is gonna chew your sofa up at home, we want that dog. The people, the mountain at Snowbird, it's just special. And everything you wanna do is here in Salt Lake. Get off the plane, grab your gear from the luggage cart, and within 30 to 45 minutes, you're up here and skiing on snow. You know, Salt Lake is super unique. We have 4 full seasons. So you can come up, ski all morning till the snow gets a little too smushy, and then you go and hit 18 at the golf course at the bottom of the mouth, and then you can go out for a wonderful dinner and see theater. It's amazing how much you can fit into your day. And not only do we have everything that you want to do, but we have great people to do it with. Everyone wants to be outdoors, happy, and go and play. Every day is different, and I love that. I love showing up to work and going, what is on the plate today? Snowbird is my family, and Salt Lake is my home, and Frank is a great part of that. My name is Marguerite Van Komen. I'm a snowbird ski patrolman, and I am Salt Lake. My name is Marguerite Van Komen, and I'm a snowbird ski patrolman. My dog's name is Frank. What a good boy, huh? What a good boy you are. I start every morning waking up and having breakfast with the dog, and then we finish every day having dinner together, but everything in the middle changes. We train them using their own instincts, so instead of hunt for dinner, they're hunting for humans. A lot of thought goes into choosing these dogs. Number one, they've got to be able to handle the cold. Number two, they got to be pretty hardy. And three, we're looking for very high drive dogs. The dog that is going to chew your sofa up at home, we want that dog. The people, the mountain at Snowbird, it's just special. And everything you want to do is here in Salt Lake. Get off the plane, grab your gear from the luggage cart, and within 30 to 45 minutes, you're up here and skiing on snow. You know, Salt Lake is super unique. We have 4 full seasons. So you can come up, ski all morning till the snow gets a little too smushy, and then you go and hit 18 at the golf course at the bottom of the mouth, and then you can go out for a wonderful dinner and see theater. It's amazing how much you can fit into your day. And not only do we have everything that you want to do, but we have great people to do it with. Everyone wants to be outdoors, happy, and go and play. Every day is different, and I love that. I love showing up to work and going, what is on the plate today? Snowbird is my family, and Salt Lake is my home. And Frank is a great part of that. My name is Marguerite Van Komen. I'm a snowbird ski patrolman, and I am Salt Lake.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the hope
Welcome to Game Day Fun.
anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to
Trust
the
them
party!
in the sea of thoughtful dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
our names, calling out our names.
Welcome to world-class research.
We'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab your
Welcome to the arts.
top, no trap. We are tough as nails. Come on, this is our land.
Welcome to Real World Experiences.
We can go to that bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Love and what it does to those they hold near. So let's run till the water.
Welcome to new friends.
We can toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you listen,
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out our
Welcome to all you can imagine.
Though we might faint and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab and walk and see. Those gray clouds look close, but we have come and gone.
Welcome to the University of Utah.
So get up and grab and walk and see.
Thanks for calling the Salt Lake Visitor Center. If you have any questions, please leave a message and we'll get back to you.
Hello! I tell you what, I'm just going to put you on speaker. All right, a little about me. I'm a bit of a phenomenal skier, so I want to take my family on a vacay, which is short for vacation. Hope you don't mind the abbreviations. I'm just short of time today, so I need to sort of hurry things along. Just a few simple questions for you. They call Salt Lake Ski City, but you do ski in the mountains, right? I'm just picturing myself skiing down the sidewalk there next to the shops. Knowing my luck, I'll do one of my big flips and end up in the traffic. So I don't want that to be the case. Look, I've got to go. You're really keeping me here. Although I will say, I'm going to see your Utah Jazz play a basketball game. And I've heard there's a couple of Australians in the team. So here's my question. Are they causing you any trouble? I just had a thought. The average snowfall near Salt Lake is 500 inches. If I was to utilise all of that to build a giant snow person, would that be majestic or a bit scary? Oh, hey, listen, just quietly. I'm a big family guy. You know that, I've told you that. But after a few days with them, I'm going to need a drink. That's legal, right? I hear Utah has the youngest population of any state. So if I was to head down to one of your hot rockin' clubs or a social event, would there be a youth person in there that might be able to explain Snapchat to me? My kids just won't do it. Now, I've heard there's a bit of a Sharks versus Jets rivalry between the skiers and the snowboarders. And if I made that movie, would you watch it? Oh, when was your last Yeti sighting? Are you getting all this, by the way? I'm assuming you can rewind. The Utah state bird is a California gull. I mean, even you've got to admit that is confusing. I guess that's more of a statement than a question, but still I thought I'd bring it up. Now, your Ski City Super Pass, I take it that's part of the Marvel Universe. If I get that, will people call me the Winter Soldier Man? I really wish you could see this. All right, well, this will be costing me, so I better go. Thanks for everything. Bye.
Hi, this is Beth from the Salt Lake Visitor Center calling you back to answer your questions. First off, yes, you can absolutely drink here. We'd prefer if you ski in the mountains, and I'm happy to call you Winter Soldier.
My name is Marguerite Van Komen, and I'm a snowbird ski patrolman. My dog's name is Frank. What a good boy, huh? What a good boy you are. I start every morning waking up and having breakfast with the dog, and then we finish every day having dinner together, but everything in the middle changes. We train them using their own instincts, so instead of hunt for dinner, they're hunting for humans. A lot of thought goes into choosing these dogs. Number one, they've got to be able to handle the cold. Number two, they got to be pretty hardy. And three, we're looking for very high drive dogs. The dog that is gonna chew your sofa up at home, we want that dog. The people, the mountain at Snowbird, it's just special. And everything you want to do is here in Salt Lake. Get off the plane, grab your gear from the luggage cart, and within 30 to 45 minutes, you're up here and skiing on snow. You know, Salt Lake is super unique. We have 4 full seasons. So you can come up, ski all morning till the snow gets a little too smushy, and then you go and hit 18 at the golf course at the bottom of the mouth, and then you can go out for a wonderful dinner and see theater. It's amazing how much you can fit into your day. And not only do we have everything that you want to do, but we have great people to do it with. Everyone wants to be outdoors, happy, and go and play. Every day is different, and I love that. I love showing up to work and going, what is on the plate today? Snowbird is my family, and Salt Lake is my home, and Frank is a great part of that. My name is Marguerite Van Komen. I'm a snowbird ski patrolman, and I am Salt Lake.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the hope
Welcome to game day fun.
anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to the party!
Of thoughtful dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
our names, calling out our names.
Welcome to world-class research.
We'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab your
Welcome to the art.
top, no trap. We are tough as nails. Come on, this is our land.
Welcome to real world experiences.
We can go to that bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Love and what it does to those they hold near. So let's run till the water.
Welcome to new friends.
We can toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you listen,
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out our
Welcome to all you can imagine.
Though we might faint and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab it, walk and see those gray clouds look close.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Utah Hockey Broadcast, and thank you for your patience, and thank you for joining us. We have the University of Utah hosting University of Washington, and of course, the action is on live on your screen. Utah, of course, defending the goal on your left, wearing their home whites, and the Huskies are wearing their road blacks with purple trim and looks like kind of beige white numbers and lettering. They will be defending the goal on your right. And we get started with the centering faceoff, and Andy carries it into the Washington zone. But then Washington, here they come. That's going to be Matthew Klenk. He passes it off to Prigodic before getting bumped off the puck. And now here comes Jovi Milik back the other way, crossing the blue line into the Washington zone. And Washington managed to clear the puck out of the ice. Utah collecting the puck in their own zone, setting up the breakout. Oh, gets intercepted by Smith. He passes across ice to, who is that? I also want to welcome our University of Washington fans who might be watching the broadcast. I'll do my best to try and get these names right. I will have to occasionally glance at my cheat sheet here, so you'll have to excuse me if I don't get the names right away. And we've got some action now in the Washington zone. Puck ends up in the corner. Looks like that's Pittman in there for Utah fighting for it. And Hare comes in to help, and finally it pops out. It squirts by Carpenter, so he's going to have to regroup outside in the neutral zone. He passes across to Umina. And Washington shovels it in behind the Utah net. Minding the net for Utah this evening is going to be Michael Biller. And minding the net for Washington is Patrick Costa. Carpenter sends it around the boards, back into the corner. It's going to be scooped up. Oh, it was going to be scooped up by Fenney, but it gets by, that looks like Mudd. Worth is in there. Puck ends up back in the corner. Fenney's back there. Worth scoops it up, skates through the circle, goes through the slot, flips it with a backhand. Nice save there by the goalie Costa. He's going to smother it. We're going to have a face-off to his left. And I am Andina Tsuchiya here flying solo this evening due to the delay. Once again, I think most people realize that the broadcast was delayed because University of Washington their flight got delayed by 6 hours. So they finally made their way in. We're glad they made it here safely, and so we did end up having this game later. Now, tomorrow's game will be at the usual time, 4:30. Will be the men's 2 game followed by the men's 1 game, and they will be hosting University of Oregon. But in the meantime, we've got a game, fast-moving, hard-hitting game right here. A nice shot from the high slot by Mudd, goes wide. Puck stays in. Monaco sends it back into the corner. Fenney's fighting for it. Worth takes a swipe at it, but looks like it's going to be Washington. And here comes Logan Maloney. Nice little pass to number 71. Arzumanov, and as I look down at my roster to try and get the name right, Washington gets on the board first, putting the puck past goalie Biller. So the score is going to be 1-0 Washington at 17:06 in the first period. And it looks like we're going to have a puck drop here back, and I was checking to see if there's a replay, but looks like we're just going to go straight to the action on center ice. Utah controls the draw. Bortoluzzi tries to send it up. And puck ends up behind the Utah net. Up to Bortoluzzi. Bortoluzzi skates it across the blue line himself. And he tries to get the pass across, but it gets poked loose. And it's going to be carried up along the boards by by Grant Stevens. And then Utah recovers, sends it into the Washington zone. Washington trying to get something started from their zone, breaking it out. Umina sends it back across to Bortoluzzi. He's going to have to chase after it. Nice little bounce off the boards, but he can't quite get to it, so Umina's going to have to regroup again. Sends it up to Indy, who dumps it in. Porter's going to have to chase after it. It's a race back behind the net. Oh, and he gets ridden off the puck, and then Klenk sends it around the boards, all the way around the boards. It does get touched up, so there's no icing. Umina scoops it up, sends it back up to Indy. Indy across. Oh, stretch pass. Nice stretch pass to Chow, who gathers it in and promptly puts it the 5-hole in the net. Utah ties it up. 16:02 in the first period. Great heads-up play by Indy. He saw Chow breaking for the zone, and he gave him a nice little pass. And next thing you know, it's a goal in the net for Utah. So center ice face-off. Looks like it's going to be Maloney facing off against Indy. And Huskies control the puck. Loose scoops it up, sends it around the boards. Arzumanov tries to get it out. Utah keeps it in. Still fighting for the puck. And Carpenter unable to corral that, so it's going to get all the way by him. Icing waved off. Carpenter's going to scoop it up. Oh, nope. Biller's going to send it around to Umina. Umina sends a big long pass up ahead, but it kind of gets by everyone. Ends up in the corner behind, now getting sent behind the net to Luce, who sends a big stretch pass up to Arzumanov. He's unable to control it, though. Now it's still behind the net. Oh, it gets loose behind the net. And centering pass to, that looks like centering pass to Luigi. And he flicks it on net, but Biller makes the save. So we're going to have a face-off in the Utah zone to Biller's right. Of course, this is the last home series for the Utes before the winter break. We'll have one more game for them, and then we'll have our winter break. And then the next time the men's team plays, that will be on the 19th of January at Utah Valley. So it'll be a nice little long winter break. Monaco across to Olszewski, who shovels it on net, but it hits a bunch of bodies, ends up ricocheting into the corner, back along the other way at the corner. And the Washington defenseman, Luigi, has lost his stick, so he's just going to try and skate into his position. Finally, someone scoops up. Lou scoops up his stick, sends it over to net. Now, here comes Washington on the attack. Looks like that's going to be Prigodic in the corner. Utah manages to poke the puck loose, sends it up to Osola, but he loses the handle on it. So Washington sends it back deep behind the Utah net. Scooped up by Zach Monaco. Does a little 180 up to Fene. Oh, big hit on Fene. That's by Morris, Darren Morris. We've got two Morrises. Looks like we got Darren and Aaron for Washington. And then here comes Shippey across the blue line to the left. He goes across the slot. Having a little bit of trouble getting nice back checking there by Fene to keep him off the puck. And Washington manages to keep it in, and it hits a stick. Goes up in the air, but stays in play. Washington still in control. Ooh, one-timer there by number 34, Rimmerin. He throws it on net. Biller makes the save. 13:45 left in the first period. Both teams tied at 1 still. And off the face-off. Ooh, puck skitters across the crease, but fortunately clears it all the way along. Worth tries to clear it out, but Washington keeps it in. That's going to be Danny Smith carrying it behind the net. Oh, he gets hit off the puck. Nice move, nice defensive hit by Mudd, who hits him off the puck and gets the puck out of the zone. But here comes Washington. They're going to come right back. Williams skating across the blue line. Puck ends up in the corner. And gets sent around. Carpenter's going to scoop it up along the boards. He's going to try and get around his man, unable to do so. Oh, boy, that's a dangerous break up there. And Fene scoops it up, sends it across, pass across to Bortoluzzi, carries across the blue line, gets hung up a little bit, but he ends up in the corner. Still fighting for the puck. Oh, my goodness. He managed to flick the puck from the corner. It hits the goalie in the back and bounces into the goal. So it bounces off the back of Costa. He didn't even have time to turn around. And Utah gets ahead 2-1, 12:55 in the first period. That was kind of an unfortunate bounce for the Washington goalie, one of those freak bounces, but still counts. As you can see, he goes, my mistake. Bortoluzzi gets the pass out to Templin, and Templin actually backhands it into the goal. So that teaches me to look down at my roster. I got that totally wrong. So Templin gets the goal. Utah gets a 1-goal lead. And the puck ends up behind the Washington net. Finally, Washington sends it up. Looks like that's Dudley tries to move that puck forward, but it gets picked off, intercepted by Utah. And now it's back and forth. Finally, Milik sends it in, but then Washington sends it right back out. Umina tries to send it back in. Milik turns around, cross spool, and he's got 1-on-3. He's kind of tangled up there, but he's still fighting for the puck. Chow with a one-timer. Good save by Costa. Puck is still along the boards. Utah trying to keep it in. Washington trying to clear it out. Andy fighting for it. Milik finally wraps it around the boards. Yuma's there to intercept. He drops it out to Chow. Chow tries to center, but hits Dudley in the skates and then bounces all the way out, so Carpenter's going to have to regroup. Nice little pass up to Yumina, who's had himself parked at the blue line. Tries to set it across to Chow. It's getting a little bit congested over there. And finally, Milik scoops it up, carries it around behind the net. And he tries a centering pass, but it bounces off someone's stick, and then he goes for the rebound. Nice save by Costa. Puck is still loose, and finally Washington just clears it out of zone and gets it by everyone. Are we going to have an icing? Yes, we are. 11:18 in the first period. Once again, Utah leading 2-1. Going to check the shot count here, shots on goal count. My feeling is that Utah is out shooting Washington, but it looks like they're even. 2 shots on goal each. That seems like a low number to me. So maybe we just need a little time for the stats, digital stats, to get caught up. Puck is in the corner. Osola's in there. Pittman's in there. Finally, Washington, Ali scoops it up. Olszewski with a one-timer from the point. Oh, and Osola's right there for the rebound, and he backhands it in, and it is now 3-1 at 11:01 in the first period. Osola's one of those players I've remarked about him before. He has really smart hockey sense. He always seems to be in the right place at the right time. One of the things he's really good at is intercepting passes and waiting and being in the right place for deflections, and that pays off this time with a goal in the net for him. Pittman facing off against Maloney, and Washington ends up controlling the puck off the draw. Loose tries to send it up, but it gets deflected back in, and it actually goes in as an offside. No, it's an icing. I didn't think it was across the red line, but apparently I'm wrong. So we're going to have a face-off in the Utah zone. It'll be off to Biller's right. And, of course, tomorrow evening we also have the second men's 1 game, and they'll be taking on Oregon. And like I said, all the Utah hockey programs will have a long break for the winter break after following this weekend. The women have a bye this weekend, so they won't be playing this weekend. They don't play again until the 15th of January when they head out to Montana State. So quite a long break for the women. And Biller sends the puck back up, gets intercepted by Luigi, but then Pittman breaks that one up. Luce tries to send it back up, gets tangled up in the Harris skates, and everyone's kind of looking around for the puck, and it finally bounces into the corner. And back in the neutral zone, Monaco starts the charge towards the net, but unfortunately, Worth was a little bit ahead of him, so it's going to be offsides, and it'll be a face-off just outside the blue line. And both teams decide this is a good chance for a line change. Facing off, it looks like it'll be Mudd facing off against Prigodic. Utah controls off the draw. Oh, but then they puck skitters away, and so Human is going to have to hustle back there to go get it. He's fighting for the puck down there in the corner along with Strand. Finally squirts out. Oh, big shot here from the point by, looks like that was Williams. Nice save by Miller. And looks like we're going to have our first penalty of the game, and I think it's going to be against Utah. And yes, indeedy. Number 3, Utah, that's Mr. Mudd. He's going to go 2 minutes for tripping. So Utah is going to have to defend for 2 minutes at 9:46. And the penalty killing unit looks to be, well, they're changing now. Changing on me. Looks to be, that is Porter. And I can't quite see all the numbers. I apologize. Porter, Furlong, Moorhead, and O'Shea. are the four on the ice for Utah. Washington controls off the draw. Utah trying to get it out. Oh, it bounced off. Furlong was trying to get that out. He finally gets out. It bounced off one of the Washington players, and he finally gets a second try. And now Porter's going to try and charge for the net, but he gets bumped off the puck. And Washington's going to take their time, coming back in, regrouping. Looks like that is number 10, Aaron Morris, captain of the Washington Huskies, carrying across the blue line. Back out to Clank at the point, back into the corner. Washington setting up their box. Oh, Shippey misses a chance there. He can't quite control the puck. He was standing right in the circle. One-timer from the high slot by Clank. Nice save by Biller. Puck ends up in the corner. Back to Morris, back to Clank. Another shot from the point through traffic, bounces off a bunch of bodies. Another shot gets bounced off a bunch of bodies, finally ends up in the corner again. Maloney tries to send it out, and then Morris goes for a shot. Save deflected by Biller. Costa sends a long pass up to Shippey, who carries it across the blue line on the left side. He tries for a sending pass, gets deflected by a bunch of people. Washington keeping it in. That looks like that's Clank. Being checked hard by Bortoluzzi, who's kind of getting behind him, though. Maloney controls, ends up in the corner. Centering pass, high slot by Clank, one-timer, and through traffic, that finds its mark. Washington closes the gap to 1, 3-2. 8 minutes, 10 seconds left in the first period. That is a power play goal for Washington. And as the teams gather around, we want to welcome you again to the broadcast and thank you again for your support. We frequently have many people come by and thank us, and we want to thank Patrick, my broadcast partner, who's not here this evening because he had to leave to go to another engagement this evening. But we both are really appreciative of everyone's support. People have been very supportive and very helpful, and we thank you for joining us. All right. Both teams, of course, now back to full strength after following that Washington goal. Puck still behind the Utah net. Comes out. It's going to be kept in. Clank is going to go for a one-timer from the point. Can't tell if it was wide or deflected, but nonetheless, finally Utah managed to get it out, clear it out, and then Washington dumps it back in. Carpenter's going to go scoop it up. Being pursued there by Smith. Chow. Pass up to Endy, but gets by Endy. Now Milik picks it up. He's going to try and send it up along the board. It's going to end up in the corner. Chow's going to chase after it. He's looking for somebody to send it to. He sends it up along the board. Milik picks it up. Back into the corner. Intercepted by Washington. Finally, it looks like that is Roberts. He's trying to wrap it around the net. Umina out to Endy. Endy skates across. Back to Umina. Umina, one-timer, goes off someone's shin guard and ends up in the corner. Scooped up by Nahara. And, of course, Nahara being Utah's team captain. Send it back down into the corner. Bounces around. Still fighting for it down there in the corner. Milik finally scoops it up. Skates behind the net. He goes for a quick, before he goes behind the net, he tries for a quick centering pass. Umina goes for a one-timer that goes off the post. Milik tries to scoop up that rebound. Clank is there. Nahara comes in. He sends it back out to Umina. Umina tries to send it through. Ends up back in the corner. Utah maintaining a nice long possession this time around, and Zach Monaco gets tied up, and now here comes Smith. He carries across the blue line, centering pass to Morris. Morris tries to get around Biller, but Biller blocks him. Washington maintaining control. Morris again. This one goes wide. Oh, and then Washington misses on a one-timer, and once again, the other Morris, Darren, goes for a one-timer, and finally Biller makes a save. 5:53 left in this first period. Utah leads 3-2. Now the shot clock tells me there's 3 shots on goal by Utah and 2 shots on goal by Washington. I'm sorry, I just don't think that's quite enough. Nonetheless, let me see if I can check our digital scoreboard here. And Utah controls. And Washington carries back across the blue line. Into the corner it goes. Scooped up, intercepted by Pittman. Then it ends up getting loose again. Morris, sends it back into the corner. Back to, who is that? Prigodic. And the puck ends up finally getting loose. Osola carries across the neutral zone. It gets picked off by Williams, who sets it back up. And so Olszewski's going to have to scoop that back up to O'Shea. Oh, he goes for a stretch pass to Osola. And Osola has to regroup. Back to O'Shea. And back to Olszewski. Back to O'Shea. O'Shea carries it across the neutral zone himself and then just dumps it in deep because it's time for a change. But Fenny goes back and chases it. He's kind of by himself. He doesn't have a lot of help there. Finally gets picked up by Washington. Washington's going to make a break for it. Looks like that is 63 Friedman charging hard for it. He gets bumped off the puck. Monaco. Ooh, just out. Oh, Fenny gets the rebound. I was going to say it's out of the reach of Fenny, but he gets the rebound. Olszewski sends it back in deep. Washington picks it up behind their own net. Up to Maloney, just out of his reach, and then Fenny's there to scoop it up. He carries across Bula, and he's got Mudd centering there to help him. Puck ends up in the corner. Worth, it gets by Worth. Olszewski manages to keep it in. Back to Fenny, all the way out across to Worth. He's got room to rumble. Monaco back to Worth. Worth center. Oh, Worth doesn't center. He goes ahead and flings a wrist shot that goes wide. Olszewski keeps it in. Puck is staying in there. Utah fighting for it. Fenny's in the corner. And finally, Washington manages to clear it out. So Olszewski scoops it up in the neutral zone. Sends it across to Monaco, up to Fenny. Nice little pass. Worth is waiting for him to support. Fenny goes for a shoveling pass. Backhanded, goes wide, hits the side of the net. Maloney sends it across up to Shippey, but Shippey can't quite handle it, so it's going to go back to Utah. Worth across the neutral zone, across the blue line on the right side. He drops the pass to Carpenter, who sends it back to him, but then, oh boy, here we go. It's a break for Shippey, but Umina's there, back checking hard, bumps him off the puck. Templin's there to pick up the puck. He ends up in the corner, fighting with Shippey. Umina joins the party. Finally, Washington comes up with it. That's number 34, Rimmerin. He makes a shot on goal, saved by Biller. And so we're going to have a face-off. And it looks like that's Templin versus Shippey. Washington controls. Shot right off the bat by number 53, Smith, and then another. 2 saves by Biller in a row. And here comes Washington again. Tries a little fancy move behind the net. Finally up to the high slot. That's number 27, Luigi. Nice save by Biller. Washington controls the rebound. Rimmerin tries to send it into the corner. Centering pass gets all the way through. Luigi's trying to scoop it up. Utah's trying to get it out. And finally, it looks like it's going to be Porter. And Porter is going to carry it across the blue line, but then he gives it up to Luigi. And then Rimmerin's going to send a big stretch pass. Tries to get a big stretch pass up to Shippey, but gets intercepted by Bortoluzzi. And then Umina sends it way up deep, and Chow's back there to scoop it up. Icing waved off. He's waiting for some help. He goes for a centering pass, but it's intercepted, and it trickles out of the zone. So O'Shea's going to pick it up and back up. And then here comes Milik across the blue line, up to O'Shea. Back into the zone, and Morse tries to send it. He does send a pass up to number 16. That is Prigodic. Biller makes a save, dumps it in the corner, and it does actually leave the zone finally. And finally, we're going to have a stoppage of play. And both teams decide they're going to go for a line change. And Utah's going to have to be shorthanded for 2 minutes as Chow goes into the box for roughing. And the puck is still being controlled. Maloney sends it around behind the net to Prigodic. Gets tied up behind the net. Maloney scoops in, gets the puck out, sends it out to Shippey, who's going to skate across the slot. Oh, nice interception by Nahara. He pokes it loose all the way into the neutral zone. So Washington's going to have to come back out and start over. Nahara's still pursuing. And then here comes Shippey down the left side across the blue line. Through the circle, being checked off by Olszewski. It does end up loose, and the puck's still loose. Oh, and Utah's trying to clear it out, unable to. Nahara finally gets it loose. So Washington's going to have to come back out again. 1 minute, 5 seconds left in the penalty against Utah. Klink skates it around his neutral zone. And he drops it out to Maloney. Maloney's going to skate it across. Oh, not quite. Now he's going to skate it across. And then he goes for a one-time or a wrist shot. Saved by Biller. Rebounds back out. And the period ends with Utah still leading 3-2. There's still 46 seconds left in the penalty to Chow, so Utah will come back out for the second period, shorthanded for a bit. I'm going to take a little break myself, and we will see you in the second period.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the home
Welcome to Game Day Fun.
anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to the party!
Of thoughtful dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
our names, calling out our names.
Welcome to world-class research.
We'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab your
Welcome to the arts.
have no trip. We are tough as nails. Come on, this is our land.
Welcome to real world experiences.
We can go to that bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Love and what it does to those they hold near. So let's run till the water.
Welcome to new friends.
We can toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you listen,
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out our
Welcome to all you can imagine.
Though we might fade and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab and walk and see. Those gray clouds look close, but we have come and gone.
Welcome to the University of Utah.
So get up and grab and walk and see.
Thanks for calling the Salt Lake Visitor Center. If you have any questions, please leave a message and we'll get back to you.
Hello! I tell you what, I'm just going to put you on speaker. All right, a little about me. I'm a bit of a phenomenal skier, so I want to take my family on a vacay, which is short for vacation. Hope you don't mind the abbreviations. I'm just short of time today, so I need to sort of hurry things along. just a few simple questions for you. They call Salt Lake Ski City, but you do ski in the mountains, right? I'm just picturing myself skiing down the sidewalk there next to the shops. Knowing my luck, I'll do one of my big flips and end up in the traffic. So I don't want that to be the case. Look, I've got to go. You're really keeping me here. Although I will say, I'm going to see your Utah Jazz play a basketball game. And I've heard there's a couple of Australians in the team. So here's my question. Are they causing you any trouble? I just had a thought. The average snowfall near Salt Lake is 500 inches. If I was to utilise all of that to build a giant snow person, would that be majestic or a bit scary? Oh, hey, listen, just quietly. I'm a big family guy. You know that, I've told you that. But after a few days with them, I'm going to need a drink. That's legal, right? I hear Utah has the youngest population of any state. So if I was to head down to one of your hot rockin' clubs or a social event, would there be a youth person in there that might be able to explain Snapchat to me? My kids just won't do it. Now, I've heard there's a bit of a Sharks versus Jets rivalry between the skiers and the snowboarders. And if I made that movie, would you watch it? Oh, when was your last Yeti sighting? Are you getting all this, by the way? I'm assuming you can rewind. The Utah state bird is a California gull. I mean, even you've got to admit that is confusing. I guess that's more of a statement than a question, but still I thought I'd bring it up. Now, your Ski City Super Pass, I take it that's part of the Marvel Universe. If I get that, will people call me the Winter Soldier Man? I really wish you could see this. All right, well, this would be costing me, so I better go. Thanks for everything. Bye.
Beth from the Salt Lake Visitor Center calling you back to answer your questions. First off, yes, you can absolutely drink here. We'd prefer if you ski in the mountains, and I'm happy to call you Winter Soldier.
My name is Marguerite Van Komen, and I'm a snowbird ski patrolman. My dog's name is Frank. What a good boy, huh? What a good boy you are. I start every morning waking up and having breakfast with the dog, and then we finish every day having dinner together, but everything in the middle changes. We train them using their own instincts, so instead of hunt for dinner, they're hunting for humans. A lot of thought goes into choosing these dogs. Number one, they've got to be able to handle the cold. Number two, they got to be pretty hardy. And three, we're looking for very high drive dogs. The dog that is going to chew your sofa up at home, we want that dog. The people, the mountain at Snowbird, it's just special. And everything you want to do is here in Salt Lake. Get off the plane, grab your gear from the luggage cart, and within 30 to 45 minutes, you're up here and skiing on snow. You know, Salt Lake is super unique. We have 4 full seasons. So you can come up, ski all morning till the snow gets a little too smushy, and then you go and hit 18 at the golf course at the bottom of the mouth, and then you can go out for a wonderful dinner and see theater. It's amazing how much you can fit into your day. And not only do we have everything that you want to do, but we have great people to do it with. Everyone wants to be outdoors, happy, and go and play. Every day is different, and I love that. I love showing up to work and going, what is on the plate today? Snowbird is my family, and Salt Lake is my home, and Frank is a great part of that. My name is Marguerite Van Komen. I'm a snowbird ski patrolman, and I am Salt Lake.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the home
Welcome to Game Day Fun.
anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to the party!
Of thoughtful dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
our names, calling out our names.
Welcome to world-class research.
We'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab your
Welcome to the arts.
top, no trap. We are tough as nails. Come on, this is our land.
Welcome to real world experiences.
We can go to that bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Love and what it does to those they hold near. So let's run till the water.
Welcome to new friends.
We can toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you listen,
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out our
Welcome to all you can imagine.
Though we might fade and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab and walk and see. Those gray clouds look close, but we have come and gone.
Welcome to the University of Utah.
So get up and grab and walk and see.
Thanks for calling the Salt Lake Visitor Center. If you have any questions, please leave a message and we'll get back to you.
Hello! I tell you what, I'm just going to put you on speaker. All right, a little about me. I'm a bit of a phenomenal skier, so I want to take my family on a vacay, which is short for vacation. Hope you don't mind the abbreviations. I'm just short of time today, so I need to sort of hurry things along. Just a few simple questions for you. They call Salt Lake Ski City, but you do ski in the mountains, right? I'm just picturing myself skiing down the sidewalk there next to the shops. Knowing my luck, I'll do one of my big flips and end up in the traffic. So I don't want that to be the case. Look, I've got to go. You're really keeping me here. Although I will say, I'm going to see your Utah Jazz play a basketball game. And I've heard there's a couple of Australians in the team. So here's my question. Are they causing you any trouble? I just had a thought. The average snowfall near Salt Lake is 500 inches. If I was to utilise all of that to build a giant snow person, would that be majestic or a bit scary? Oh, hey, listen, just quietly. I'm a big family guy. You know that, I've told you that. But after a few days with them, I'm going to need a drink. That's legal, right? I hear Utah has the youngest population of any state. So if I was to head down to one of your hot rockin' clubs or a social event, would there be a youth person in there that might be able to explain Snapchat to me? My kids just won't do it. Now, I've heard there's a bit of a Sharks versus Jets rivalry between the skiers and the snowboarders. And if I made that movie, would you watch it? Ooh, when was your last Yeti sighting? Are you getting all this, by the way? I'm assuming you can rewind. The Utah state bird is a California gull. I mean, even you've got to admit that is confusing. I guess that's more of a statement than a question, but still I thought I'd bring it up. Now, your Ski City Super Pass, I take it that's part of the Marvel Universe. If I get that, will people call me the Winter Soldier Man? I really wish you could see this. All right, well, this would be costing me, so I better go. Thanks for everything. Bye.
Hi, this is Beth from the Salt Lake Visitor Center calling you back to answer your questions. First off, yes, you can absolutely drink here. We'd prefer if you ski in the mountains, and I'm happy to call you Winter Soldier.
All right, folks, welcome back to the second period. We have a close contest here. It's 3-2, Utah leading by 1. They still need to kill off 46 seconds of that penalty to Chow. And Washington's putting on quite a fight. Let's look at the shot count. So, shots on goal in that first period, pretty even. Washington with 8, according to my little digital scoreboard here. Utah with 7, and of course the ones that count are the ones that go in. And I'd also like to mention that tomorrow evening is going to be our annual teddy bear toss. It's a big fundraiser for the men's D1 and D2 teams, and so they're going to be collecting stuffed animals. The whole idea is that they will tell you to bring the stuffed animals, and at some point, I don't remember which period exactly, which break it is, they'll be asking you to throw them onto the ice. Please make sure if you do bring a teddy bear to wait until you are told when to throw them on the ice. We don't want you to then be asked to leave the stadium for throwing things on the ice. But that is a big fundraiser we have every year. It'll be, like I said, we'll have a teddy bear toss for the D2 men's game and then for the D1 men's game. And, of course, the D2 men's game, now that University of Washington has finally arrived safely, will be at the usual time of 4:30 p.m., followed by the men's 1 game hosting Oregon at 7:30 p.m. We are ready for the puck drop. It's going to be Pittman. Looks like he's facing, who is that? Prigodic. And, we have one latecomer who's just coming in, so we got to shut the door. Who is that? It looks like Morgan Campbell was late to the party. And the line official's now trying to get the door shut, which is, I got to tell you, is tough from the inside. It's a lot easier if you have somebody on the outside pushing the door closed. And sure enough, looks like we're having a little trouble getting that door shut. And, now, there we go. Now it's shut, and we can get started for the second period of action. And Washington controls off the faceoff. It's going to be Clank across. Oh, nice interception there by Nahara. And here we go. Here comes Pittman across the line, into the corner. Still in the corner. And finally it wraps around the boards behind the net. Shippey sends it back behind the net to Clank. And here comes Washington. It's going to be Shippey crossing the blue line into the corner. He drops the pass out to Maloney. Maloney. And puck ends up on the other side. Back to Maloney behind the net. He's, of course, looking for someone to center into. Washington setting up the box. One-timer by Clank. Nice one-timer by Clank, and there you go. With just 4 seconds left in the penalty to Utah, Washington now ties the game up. It's a power play goal for Washington at 19-17 in the second period. So that took an entire 43 seconds for Washington to get that goal. So, of course, both teams will be back to full strength now. We're going to have a face-off at center ice. Looks like it's going to be Maloney facing off against Endy. And Washington controls off the draw. Luigi tries to send it up, but it gets deflected. So he's going to get a second chance to send it up along the boards. And it's going to be scooped up and intercepted by Umina. Ooh, goes for a stretch pass, but it gets by everyone, ends up in the corner. And that is Luigi back there. Now it's Umina at the point. Cross to Campbell, who hucks it in there, but it gets intercepted again by Luigi. And Carpenter tries to keep it in, but Washington manages to poke it out. Nice poke check by Umina to get it away from Maloney, but he scoops it back up, carries it with speed behind the net. Makes a quick little 180. Centering pass gets by everyone, but Luigi's got a chance at the high slot. Goes wide. Puck ends up bouncing around, and here comes Milik. He's got a chance for a breakaway. Milik's got speed. He's got Endy in the center for the centering pass, but it gets by Endy. And it gets scooped up by Maloney. He sends, and his stretch pass gets by. His intended target ends up in the corner. And it looks like it's still bouncing around in the corner. Moorhead manages to poke it loose. Ends up on the opposite side. Andy's going for it. Moorhead's bounced around by Moorhead's feet. Andy comes up with it again. Tries to get up to Milik, but a little bit too much on it. And now it's going to be a race here, but Chow's going to scoop it up. And he goes for a wrist shot, but he doesn't quite get enough on it. So Costa sticks it away. Moorhead is unable to keep it in. So he's going to start out to Shea. Up to Milik. Milik tries for a centering pass. It gets poked away. Gets wrapped around behind the Washington net. And Mudd's got a chance for it. And finally Costa just covers it up. So we're going to have a face-off in the Washington zone to his right. And looks like both teams have decided it's time for a change. I'm sorry, just Washington's going to go for a line change. Utah, same line's going to stay on the ice. And taking the face-off, it's going to be Mudd. Facing off against, looks like that's Friedman. And Utah wins the draw. Worth going to go chase after it next to the boards. He sends it around to Fenney. Fenney wraps it back around the boards again. Oh, ends up in the corner. And there's a pileup in the corner. Oh, a whole bunch of people. Finally, the puck pops out. Washington trying to clear it out. Utah keeping it in. Fenney skating with speed across the circle. Nice shot from the circle. Gloved by Costa. Oh, I'm sorry. I called that Freeman. That's Alex Dudley. I'm sorry about that. 6'3". You know, it's a little bit hard to see from here. My eyes aren't great. And now both teams go for a line change. Face off to Costa's left. And it looks like that's Mudd facing off against Rimmerin. And Washington controls. Sends it around behind the boards. Intercepted by Olszewski. He sends it back around the other way. Back to Morris, who tries to go for a stretch pass. Gets a little bit carried away, goes all the way to the other end. Olszewski scoops it up. Sends it up to Worth. Worth has got room to skate. Up to Nahara. Back to Olszewski. A little bit out of his reach, though. And now here comes Washington. Shippey with a break. It's being checked hard by Monaco. Biller makes the first save. Stick gets broken in the process. Wow. And now it looks like we're going to have a penalty. Ooh, it's going to be a slashing. And it's going to be on, I believe it's going to be on a Washington player. Oh, no, I was wrong. It's going to be on a Utah player. And it is going to be Ryan Worth. And he's going to the box. 2 minutes for slashing. He actually broke his stick on that. So the penalty killing unit for Utah is Nahara, Olszewski, Pittman, and on the far side, I can't quite see his number. Looks like it's Monaco. And Washington controls, sets up the box. Shippey, back to Maloney. Centering pass gets through. Clank with a one-timer, hits a bunch of skates. Morris tries to glove it down. Maloney scoops it up, takes a shot from the middle slot, bounces off someone's shoulder and up into the netting. 1:49 left in the penalty against Utah. So Washington comes into this contest ranked number 12 in the ACHA West District. Utah ahead of them at number 9. And of course, your ranking, there's a couple of ways to get into to qualify for the Nationals. Another broken stick. Boy, we're just like, it's going to be an expensive day in a couple of places here with these broken sticks. Morris back to Clank. I'm sorry, not to Clank. That is 16. Prigodic. And Nahara loses his stick. Pittman loses his stick. We have 2 Utah players who are trying to penalty kill, 3 Utah players who are trying to penalty kill out of the 4 without sticks. I don't think I've ever seen this before. So Pittman, Nahara, and Monaco. Oh, Monaco picks his stick up. And now we still have 2. It's still 2-on-4. A minute left in the penalty against Utah. Finally, Biller's trying to get to that puck, but he's getting hung up by Maloney. And finally, he managed to smother the puck. Well, that was interesting. All right, so teams go for line change. We got 57 seconds left in the penalty kill. As I was saying, your ranking in the ACHA West District is one of the ways you can qualify for Nationals. The other way, of course, is by winning the West District tournament, which happens near the end of the season. And this year, that tournament's going to be hosted by Utah. And Washington controls off the draw. Skating around in the corner with that is Strand. Skates behind the net, being pursued. And dumped back in there by Smith. Back to Strand. Ends up getting hung up there, back behind the net. And Arzumanov sends it back behind the net. Strand fighting for it. Ooh, it pops loose. Washington with a chance, but it gets away from Rimmerin, and Utah managed to send it all the way to the other end. 18 seconds left in the penalty kill for Utah. Umina nice trying to send it back up. Oh, here comes, we got a 2-on-2. It's Arzumanov. He's looking for room. It goes off of somebody's stick, and Umina clears it out. That's going to do it. 3 seconds left. 2, 1, 0. And here comes Mr. Worth to join the party. Oh, Umina's trying to clear it out. Still trying to clear it. He finally does, and it's a nice little pass to Porter, who's going to skate across the blue line, being checked hard there by Friedman. And the puck ends up squirting around. Umina's able to keep it in. He sends it all the way across, but Endy's not going to be able to get there in time. Lucci tries to send it up. I'm sorry, Luce tries to send it up. Very confusing for me up here. You've got Luce, who's 27, Lucci, who is 37. And we're going to have a face-off in the Washington zone. Looks like it's going to be to the left of Costa. Score is tied here, 3-3 in the second period. And Utah controls, but not for long, and it's going to be a race. It's going to be a fast break. Shippey's got a chance for it. He's being defended by Moorhead, who forces him into the corner. Chow gets a stick on it. He tries to send it up, but gets knocked back down. Milik finally nice little kick save there by Morris, who keeps it in the zone. But finally, Utah clears the zone, and he gets past his man, crosses the blue line. Centering pass gets by Chow, ends up in the corner. He wraps it back around to Endy, and then he gets checked off by Morris, and that would be the other Morris, Darren Morris. Puck ends up now in the Utah zone. Lots of hard hitting happening here in the Utah zone. Milik pops it up. Stopped by Williams. Williams sends it back in, being chased into the corner by Moorhead. He skates it around and sends a nice little stretch pass up to Chow. Chow's got room. Can he beat the goalie? Wow, Costa came out aggressively. He had to break that up because he had nobody else. And he does that successfully. He ends up back, and now here comes Strand, who's kind of trying to go for a breakaway, but he ends up in the corner. Milik's in there. Maloney's in there. And Strand's going to keep it in. He sends it on net, but it is deflected, and here comes Moorhead. He's going to skate up across the neutral zone. He gets tied up and picked up again by Strand, who dumps it in again. Biller doesn't, I don't know if Biller realized he had a man coming up behind him. Shippy was trying to pick that off, or not Shippy, Friedrich, but Friedman. I can't talk. Friedman was trying to pick it off. Another shot on goal. Moorhead sticks it away. Friedman trying for the wraparound. Bounces off someone's skate. Finally, Andy picks it up and is finally able to clear it. Goes all the way to the other end. And icing is waved off, so it's behind the Washington net. Fenny skates around one man. Nice stick deflection there by Costa. Break up that play. Puck is still behind the net. Ends up in the corner. Fenny's going for it. Mudd's going for it. Still fighting for it. Mudd is still fighting for it. Finally gets picked up by Strand. He's going to carry it across the blue line. He's got the other Morse. He's got the team captain, Aaron Morse, for company. But instead he dumps it in and goes for a line change. Here comes Utah. Oh, Monaco goes down hard. No call. Wow. And never mind. Oh, wow. I thought that went in. Apparently not. We have a penalty. And it's going to be tripping. Oh, so maybe that was the tripping call. That took a little while for them to call that. So Dudley's going to go sit for 2 minutes for tripping. And like I said, Monaco went down pretty hard, and he had a breakaway chance. Just took a little while for them to call it. So now Utah goes on the power play, and that unit is going to be Umina, Pittman, Osola, O'Shea, and Worth. Pittman taking the center, taking the puck drop. O'Shea skates across the slot, all the way to the other side of the point. He drops it off to Worth. Oh, and he tries to go across the other point, but it gets by Umina. So Utah's going to have to come back out. And now Osola's going to start the breakout to Worth. Worth's going to have to skate hard, though. He's being pursued and being back-checked by, looks like Stevens, who sends it all the way deep. Or maybe that was Roberts. I'm sorry, I couldn't quite see the number. Umina picks it up behind his own net. 1:25 left in the power play for Utah. Umina sends it all the way up to Osola, who skates. Oh, nice little centering pass to Pittman, who can't quite handle it. And sure enough, Robert sends it into the corner. Umina's going to have to go back into his own zone to go pick that puck up. And he's going to start the breakout from his own zone. Carries it across. It's interesting, he's trying to draw two defenders, and he actually just skates by everyone, goes for a backhand, and Costa has to make the save. It's kind of like Washington just kept waiting for him to pass, and then he didn't, and so he just figured he'd keep on skating until somebody forced him to give it up. Nice shot there on goal by Rimmerin, saved by Biller. O'Shea back to Worth. Up to Moorhead, up to Umina, up to Osola. He's having a little bit of trouble handling that. 33 seconds left in the power play for Utah. Worth carries across the blue line. Goes for a big slapper that just gets deflected off of someone's stick and ends up in the netting. So we're going to have a face-off in the Washington zone. 26 seconds left on Utah's power play, and they decide to go for a partial change. Oh, no, a line change. So the new power play unit, it's going to be Borluzzi, Porter, Templin, Monaco, and Olszewski. Templin's going to take the face-off in the Washington zone. Looks like he's going to be facing off against, that is Prigodic, the alternate captain for Washington. And nobody controls off the draw. The puck is still bouncing around, and finally Washington clears it out. Olszewski is going to have to chase that. Ooh, gosh, a little bit of miscommunication there, but no harm, no foul. Monaco out to Borluzzi. He's got, and the puck gets away from him. Another player goes down. Oh, nice save there by Monaco. So he's going to go skate it with speed across the blue line himself. He can shoot. He does. Saved by Costa. Puck bounces out, and then here comes Friedman. Oop, or not. Here comes Morris. He goes for a backhander, and Biller has to make the save. That was Aaron Morris. Both teams back to full strength. Penalty expired. Utah unable to capitalize on the power play. And Utah wins off the draw, ends up in the corner, wrapped all the way. Whoa! And somebody loses an edge and goes down. And so Friedman tries to send it across, and the puck gets away from Darren Morris. He sends it back in. Friedman's chasing after it. Shea scoops it up, intercepts across out to Moorhead. Moorhead tries to move the puck forward. It gets hung up at the blue line. Aaron Morse trying to go for it, but it ends up in the corner. Templin there. Sends it around behind the net to Moorhead. Moorhead gets a little bit tangled up by Aaron Morse again. Templin there to try and scoop it up, and puck is just kind of bouncing back and forth right around in the Utah zone. Both teams still tied up 3-3. Finally, the puck does come out, but Utah doesn't actually control Williams. Back to Aaron Morse. Oh, and it just gets by number 71. That's Arzumanov. I'm just going to keep on tripping all over that one all night. I'm so sorry. And a big flurry in front of the Utah goal. And Biller makes a save. And there's going to be a face-off to Biller's left. And it looks like Maloney facing off against Endy. And Utah gets the draw. Umina sends it around behind the net. All the way up to Chow, who tries to shovel it off to Endy, but it gets intercepted, picked off by Washington. Washington's got a chance here. Maloney sends it towards the net, but it goes wide. And Campbell sends it back behind the net. Picked up by Maloney. Maloney goes for centering pass. Shot from the high slot, hits a bunch of bodies before it gets through to Biller, who then makes the save. Washington's like really scrambling here. They're just swarming Utah right now. Nice shot there by 15. Clank goes wide. And then here comes Utah. Endy. Oh, gets poked away. Carpenter scoops it up, sends it up ahead to, I can't tell quite who. It looks like Milik. Then back, and then, Carpenter's going for a poke again. And it tantalizingly dribbles around till Milik finally picks it up. He goes down in a heap. Andy goes for scoops up the puck. Skating around, sends it across to Carpenter, who loses the handle on it. And here comes Washington. Shippy with a chance there, but Biller's going to intercept that ahead of time. And Milik sends it out. Both teams pretty even on the shots on goal right now. We've got, for the game, 19 shots on goal by Washington, 12 by Utah. And in a second, when I get my digital scoreboard to refresh, I'll tell you how many that is in this period. And it looks like Washington is actually outscoring Utah quite a bit just in the second period. 11 shots on goal for Washington, 5 shots on goal for Utah. So Utah is kind of getting a little bit shut down on their offense this second period. Washington pouring on the offensive action. Both teams still tied up 3-3. And like I said, this is going to be a break for all the programs. The men's too. Their next game after the break, they'll be traveling to California to face Stanford, and then following that, they'll be playing at home against Utah Valley. And actually, let me take that back. I think that Stanford game may have been either postponed or canceled, because I think the next game is actually going to be the 19th here in Utah, but at Utah Valley. And now here comes Nahara. He goes down in a heap. Intercepted by Shippy. Being nice defense there by Olszewski. And the puck gets picked up again by number 5. That's Roberts. Puck is still behind the net. Still behind the net. Finally, Olszewski breaks free. Monaco breaks free. He gets the puck loose. He sends it up to Osola. To Pittman. Pittman's going to skate across the neutral zone. Gets it into the zone. He sends it in deep. Nahara goes in the corner for it. Pittman goes in the corner for the next part of it. And now everybody's in the corner. Finally, Nahara comes out with a centering pass to Osola. He just misses on a shot. Nice save by Costa. We've got a delayed penalty coming up. It's going to be against Washington. And it is going to be slashing against number 37, Josh Luigi. He's going to sit for 2 minutes. And we're going to have a face-off in the Washington zone. Looks like it'll be to the right of goaltender Costa. 5:44 in the second period. Both teams tied up 3-3. It's been a pretty evenly matched game, although, as I said, Washington's really pouring on the offense right now. Teams look fairly evenly matched. It's not. It doesn't feel like Utah's being outplayed, but there's certainly their offense is being shut down, as the numbers show. And there's a one nice wrist shot there by Zeke Endy that's gloved by Costa. So we're gonna do it all over again. Nahara taking the faceoff for Utah. Friedman taking the faceoff for Washington. And the puck is dropped. Washington manages to clear the zone. Sends it all the way to the other end of the ice. 1:53 left in the period in the penalty against Washington. We still have plenty of time left in the period. Here comes Monaco, across the blue line on the left side, and he puts the brakes on. Utah trying to set up their box, trying to get by. One-timer by Milik right on, but Costa makes a save. Oh my gosh, puck goes all the way across. It's still bouncing around. Chow goes for it. It finally ends up over by the boards. Milik's got it. And looks like we have another penalty coming up. Ooh, might be offsetting penalties. Might be penalties to both teams. So, for Utah, Zeke Endy's going to the box. And for Washington, it will be one of the Morris brothers. That's Darren Morris. And the referee's not doing me any favors. He's going to verbally explain what the penalties are to the scorekeeper, so I do not know exactly what they are, but I'm guessing it's going to be some sort of roughing since it's offsetting penalties. So, both teams are going to be skating. Oh, interesting. They're both going to be skating. Oh, well, sorry. So, Utah's still going to have their one-man advantage, 5-on-4. And again, it looks like that's Nahara against Smith. Sorry, not Smith, Friedman. So, indeed, the public address announcer announces both players going in 2 minutes for roughing. And Utah controls. Yumina out to Chow at the circle. He goes and centers the pass into Nahara, gets by into the corner. Back to Chow. Chow's having a little bit of trouble, and oh, here comes Strand. He managed to break loose across blue line himself. Nice poke check by Yumina, but then Strand follows it up. But his shot gets deflected into the net. 49 seconds left in the Utah advantage. And Utah sends a fresh pair of legs out there. Looks like it's going to be... It is going to be... I think Utah's trying to say that this, because it went into the netting, that it was supposed to be outside the zone. I'm not sure why. All right, so we've got Pittman taking the faceoff. Joining him is Worth, Osola, O'Shea, and Yumina. And Utah does control. Pittman goes through the neutral zone. He does get past Williams, but the puck comes loose. And oh my goodness, O'Shea goes charging in there, and he goes in a race for Acosta. Fortunately for Washington, Costa wins that race, and Washington sends the puck back into the Utah zone. Stevens is there. Oh, and now Biller gets hung up. Boy, there was a race there, and Biller almost lost that one. Stevens just overskated the puck. Otherwise, that could have been dangerous for Utah. And now we have it. Looks like... I'm not sure what's going on. It's a little bit of confusion. Everybody's pointing in all kinds of different directions. It was a call by the line official, not a penalty. And maybe that was a two-line pass. I am not actually sure, folks. But we have a face-off at center ice. It's going to be Ali facing off against Pittman. Washington controls off the draw. And he sends it all the way up, but it gets past Ali. O'Shea scoops it up behind his own net. 7 seconds left in the Utah advantage. Moorhead kind of lets the puck get away from him. Masola's going to go and let it go by him because he can't get to it in time. Yumina. And now teams are back to full strength. Nice stretch pass to Osola. He's going to carry it. Nice pass to Pittman. Pittman shoots from the circle, goes wide. And now here comes Washington with a chance, or maybe not. Nice interception by Pittman. He crosses the blue line. He goes down, and we are going to have a penalty on that one. He had a chance to get across the blue line, but he was taken down by a Washington player, and it looks to be... Who is this coming my way? Looks like that is number 53. Danny Smith, another one of Washington's alternate captains. So Washington is going to have to be shorthanded for a bit longer. And the face-off, of course, in Washington's zone. Looks like that is Nahara facing off against Shippey. Utah wins the draw. And Monaco sends it right in. And tipped by Nahara. So from Monaco to Nahara, just 4 seconds into the penalty, Utah gets the power play goal at 3:18, takes the lead 4-3 against Washington. And for those of you who listen to podcasts, I got a chance to talk to team captain Antonio Nahara, native of Mexico City. That podcast can be heard on Spotify or iTunes, and it's the WCHL podcast. It's the Western Collegiate Hockey League. That's Chris Perry's podcast. You can listen to that and listen to hear about life as Antonio Nahara. Some interesting and surprising things I learned about our team captain. And Washington controls in Utah zone, and the puck ends up behind the net, and we're going to have another penalty called. This time, I think it's going to be against Utah. And it looks like it will be indeed Sam Mudd is going to the box. He's kind of rolling his eyes and looking at the ceiling. I did not see the hand signal, so I'll have to wait in a little bit, but it's going to be a 2-minute minor. And so now Utah's going to have to go on the penalty kill. And our penalty killing unit for Utah will be Endy Yumina Chow, and one more person who needs to turn around so I can see his number. I think that's Bortoluzzi, but I'll have to wait till he turns around so I can see his number. Taking the face-off in the Utah zone for Washington is going to be Prigodich. And for Utah, it's going to be Chow. And now we're still going to have, now the referees come back to explain something else to the statistician. I don't know what it is, since we already have the Utah player in the box. And whatever it is, that's all squared away now, so we can finally have our puck drop. And Washington controls and sets up their box. Shippey skates through the circle. And right off the bat, just 6 seconds into the Washington power play, Shippey scores a goal and ties up the game with 2:57 left in the second period. So this Washington team is not going to go down without a fight. Like I said, both teams pretty evenly matched. That's the way it looks from up here, and the score shows us the same, 4-4. Exciting match. And center face-off, it's going to be controlled by Utah. Porter goes for a shot right off as soon as he crosses the blue line, but it hits somebody's stick and ends up in the netting. And you can see on the replay, right off the face-off, Shippey scoops up that puck and wastes no time in sending it into the net, near side over the right shoulder, blocker side of the Utah goalie. And puck has ended up still bouncing around. Washington trying to get loose. Bortoluzzi intercepts a pass, and it ends up tantalizingly skipping around, and finally here comes Smith. He skates across the blue line, tries to get past his defender, but the puck ends up getting away from him. Washington still trying to keep it in. That's Rimmerin. Puck ends up behind in the corner. Bortoluzzi sends it up. Oop, but it ends up intercepted. That looks like that's Clank. He carries across, but he gets tied up by Carpenter, and then Strand goes for a one-timer that goes wide. Roberts managed to keep the puck in. Utah, of course, trying to get it out. Finally, it squirts loose. Clank being pursued there by Porter. And then Carpenter intercepts. He starts a breakout goes across the neutral zone. and then flings it in across the glass. Yumina keeps it in. He sends it across, gets deflected into the corner. Osola scoops it up, goes for a centering pass, but that is intercepted by Smith. And then Shippey, nice poke check there by Yumina, which sends the puck out of the zone, so Washington has to come back out. Carpenter scoops it up. He's being pursued hard by Smith. He goes down in a heap. No whistle. Oh, and the puck ends up somehow right out in front. Somehow right out in front of Prigodic. And he wastes no time in throwing it on net, but saved by Biller. So we're going to have a face-off in the Utah zone. It's going to be Prigodic facing off against Pittman. 1 minute, 33 seconds left in the second period. Tie game, folks. And Washington off the draw. Shot right from the point by Darren Morris. And the puck is still in strength, sends it into Friedman. Or, I think that's Friedman. Sorry, Prigodic. Getting all mixed up now. Aaron Morse again, dumps it in again, goes wide. Williams picks it up, sends it back along the boards. Strand fighting for it, and Utah finally manages to clear it out. So Washington regroups, sends it in, scooped up and intercepted by Olszewski. Recaptured by Morris. Darren Morris, who sends it back up to his brother, but he gets bumped off. And then it's Prigodic trying to go for a shot, but it hits somebody in the skate and bounces back in the corner. Another shot bounces off, I think that bounced off the post and ends up behind the net. Darren Morris comes in, tries to get a shot, but it's deflected. Monaco's trying to clear it out. Aaron Morris is along the boards, and we got a big heap over there in the boards. Prigodic kicks at a centering pass. Wow, kicks a centering pass that bounces off of both Arzumanov and then team captain Aaron Morse puts it in the net. So Washington now takes the lead with 19 seconds left in the second period, 5-4. This has been a back and forth game every period, and Washington, like I said, is really showing that they're not gonna leave here without a victory. And this is after getting here late after a 6-hour delay. So hats off to Washington, because they are not playing like they just got off the bus or the plane. And they're here to win games as well. Their game. Sorry, I can't talk. Anyway, I miss Patrick. All right, so Utah carries it across, and Indy goes for one last shot at the buzzer. Costa makes a save. Teams are going to go into the locker rooms after 2 periods of play, with Washington leading Utah 5-4. I'm going to take a little break, and I will be back for the third period, so don't go away. We'll see you soon.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the hope
Welcome to game day fun.
anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to the party!
Sea of thoughtful dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
our names, calling out our names.
Welcome to world-class research.
We'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab your
Welcome to the arts.
top, no trap. We are tough as nails. Come on, this is our land.
Welcome to real world experiences.
We can go to that bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Love and what it does to those they hold near. So let's run till the water.
Welcome to new friends.
We can toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you listen,
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out our
Welcome to all you can imagine.
Though we might faint and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab and walk and see. Those gray clouds look close, but we have come and gone.
Welcome to the University of Utah.
So get up and grab and walk and see.
Thanks for calling the Salt Lake Visitor Center. If you have any questions, please leave a message and we'll get back to you.
Hello! I tell you what, I'm just going to put you on speaker. All right, a little about me. I'm a bit of a phenomenal skier, so I want to take my family on a vacay, which is short for vacation. Hope you don't mind the abbreviations. I'm just short of time today, so I need to sort of hurry things along. Just a few simple questions for you. They call Salt Lake Ski City, but you do ski in the mountains, right? I'm just picturing myself skiing down the sidewalk there next to the shops. Knowing my luck, I'll do one of my big flips and end up in the traffic. So I don't want that to be the case. Look, I've got to go. You're really keeping me here. Although I will say, I'm going to see your Utah Jazz play a basketball game. And I've heard there's a couple of Australians in the team. So here's my question. Are they causing you any trouble? I just had a thought. The average snowfall near Salt Lake is 500 inches. If I was to utilise all of that to build a giant snow person, would that be majestic or a bit scary? Oh, hey, listen, just quietly. I'm a big family guy. You know that, I've told you that. But after a few days with them, I'm going to need a drink. That's legal, right? I hear Utah has the youngest population of any state. So if I was to head down to one of your hot rockin' clubs or a social event, would there be a youth person in there that might be able to explain Snapchat to me? My kids just won't do it. Now, I've heard there's a bit of a Sharks versus Jets rivalry between the skiers and the snowboarders. And if I made that movie, would you watch it? Oh, when was your last Yeti sighting? Are you getting all this, by the way? I'm assuming you can rewind. The Utah state bird is a California gull. I mean, even you've got to admit that is confusing. I guess that's more of a statement than a question, but still I thought I'd bring it up. Now, your Ski City Super Pass, I take it that's part of the Marvel Universe. If I get that, will people call me the Winter Soldier Man? I really wish you could see this. All right, well, this would be costing me, so I better go. Thanks for everything. Bye.
Hi, this is Beth from the Salt Lake Visitor Center calling you back to answer your questions. First off, yes, you can absolutely drink here. We'd prefer if you ski in the mountains, and I'm happy to call you Winter Soldier.
All right, folks, welcome back to the third period. I also want to thank you all for staying up with me. It is now midnight here at the Salt Lake City Sports Center. And for those of you who are in Central Time or East Coast Time, it's even later. So thank you so much for sticking with us. At least tomorrow's Saturday, so we can hopefully all sleep in a little bit. So the game is a 1-goal game. Utah trailing 4-5 against Washington. So it'll be interesting to see what Utah does to regroup. I don't think that Utah's necessarily been doing anything wrong. I think Washington has really come and played very well, especially, like I said, considering they had a 6-hour delay just to get here, and it is, of course, that means it's a travel day. Travel days are always tough when you spend the whole day like hanging around an airport or sitting on a bus or waiting for, changeovers, and then you try and play a game. But pretty impressive. Washington has come out, just not looking like they've had a travel day. So, but I think, if my partner Patrick McGann was here, I think what we'd be talking about is what is it that Utah needs to do to, pull this game back in their favor, take control of the game. I think one of the things they do need to do is I think they need to remember to stick to the game plan and stick to the plays they know. I'm starting to see a little bit of this kind of like no-look passing, just kind of shooting the puck up ice. The other thing that seems to be happening is they are breaking down a little bit, I think, in the defensive end. So I feel like, especially the last goal was as a result of, that was a power play goal. The goal before that was as a result of Utah's defense maybe breaking down a little bit. But they must have heard me because here comes Zeke Endy. This is streaking across the line. He's there with Chow. Back out to the point, and it looks like it's Milik. He goes for setting pass. Gets bounced off someone's stick, and here comes Shippey. He crossed the blue line. He gets tied up by Monaco, and they end up going for the puck behind the net. Monaco is going to win that battle. He's going to come skating out, sends it across. Nice pass ahead to Endy. Endy's going to poke it ahead to Milik. Dangerous, a potent combination there, Milik and Endy. Puck ends up behind the net, scooped up by Chow. Chow's getting ridden hard into the boards by Maloney, and here comes Aaron Morris. Aaron Morris. And the puck gets sent up all the way out into the Utah zone. And it looks like, yes, it was gloved by Biller. And, yep, that's still Biller out there. No, it's not. Actually, I think we may have a goalie change for Utah. Let me check here because I just realized that our Utah goalie appears to be, his pads and his mask are different. So let me look this up for you real quick. And I can find it on my, and I have to apologize. I don't have the benefit of Patrick's nice big laptop. I'm actually peering at all these stats on my tiny little phone screen, so it takes me a little while to find things. And Darren Morris controlling the puck, trying to clear it out, and here we go. He sends it up deep. Both teams, of course, are at full strength. All right, so the official change hasn't been given, but I believe that is number 33 for Utah now. That's Jamie Jurgic in net for Utah. Meanwhile, for Washington, that is still Patrick Costa in goal for Washington. And we're going to have a face-off. Speaking of Costa, we're going to face off to his left. It's going to be Sam Mudd for Utah, facing off against Eric Prgodich for Washington. And Washington controls. And right off the bat, Darren Morse sends it out of the zone. Humanis sends the play back in. Fenney dumps it in the corner and then follows it up. And Washington sends it back out. Humanis has to go and scoop that up. Sends a nice stretch pass to Mudd, who tips it into Fenney. Fenney's got a little bit of room to work. Tries to get around one. Mudd tries to get around one, but it ends up behind the net. And then here comes Washington. That's Ali. Tries to send a pass up, but it gets broken up. And then here comes Fenney back. Oh, and he loses it. And then he retrieves it, centering past a Mudd. Mudd's right there. Worth is right there. Puck is skittering around and finally gets cleared out. Somebody's glove is sitting on the ice. I'm guessing that's a Washington glove because it looks like it's a dark glove. Utah's got the red gloves. Oh, maybe not. Somebody's trying to scoop. Yep, it is a Washington glove. And we're going to have a face-off here in the Washington zone. Close game here. Utah really needs to figure out how to get on the board, though, because Washington's still ahead by 1. And indeed, we are confirmed that it is Jamie Jurczyk, number 33 for Utah, minding the goal, minding the net. Sorry, it's very late here. All right, Washington wins the draw. And Darren Morris tries to send that out, but it gets kept in. Williams sends it back behind the net. Porter picks it up. He gets run into by 2 Washington players. And finally, puck ends up. Monaco gets it, sends it, tries to send a pass in, but it gets intercepted again by Williams, who dumps it in. Human is going to send it back up. Oh, bounces off the chest of Stevens. He keeps it in. Human and Stevens fighting for the puck behind the Utah net. Finally, it pops out. Monaco manages to scoop it up. He skates and he tries to send a stretch pass to, that looks like Furlong, but it gets by him. And so it's going to get picked up by Luigi, who wraps around the boards to Stevens. Stevens' big hit runs into Utah player. Porter back behind the net now, fighting for the puck. Got some hard hitting going here, and finally it looks like Yuna is going to come up with it. He's going to skate across the blue line himself. He's got a shot. Goes wide. He follows the rebound. Costa sticks that away again. Chow scrapping for that puck in the corner, and finally Washington sends it out. I think that's going to be icing, and it is. So the puck's going to come all the way back to the Washington zone. And we're going to have a line change for Utah. So now it's going to be O'Shea, Moorhead, Milik, Indy, and on the far side, can't quite see who's on the far side. Utah controls. Oh, Chow is still the one. He's still on the ice. So Utah controls, but then intercepted by Shippey. He goes into the corner and gets away. And this is one of the things that I'm seeing Utah having trouble keeping the puck in the Washington zone. Now, granted, this is an icing, so of course it's going to come back, but I think Utah's having a little bit trouble just maintaining possession of the puck and keeping it down there in the Washington zone. And I think that's going to be the key because they're not going to get a lot of chances to shoot. It looks like Washington's got a pretty tight defense, so they're really going to have to make sure they spend as much time as they can in the Utah zone. I think that in the Washington zone, I think Utah did a better job of that back in the second period in particular. And so, I'm sorry, the first period in particular, because this is the third period. Andy with a wraparound, or with a shot. Milik. Chow back there. Puck's still behind the Washington net. Finally gets scooped up and sent out by Smith. Gets sent back in deep by O'Shea. And here's Chow with a shot. Costa makes the save, but the rebound gets away from him. And again, Washington clears it all the way out. O'Shea scoops it up. Chow manages to tip it in, so icing is waved off. As Arzumanov sends it into the Utah zone. Carpenter is fighting for that puck behind. Arzumanov's got another chance and starts poking it in there. Finally it gets sticked away. Looks like it was cleared by Milik. Clank scoops it up, starts it off, sends it up to Maloney. Maloney's got Arzumanov there. Instead, he lets loose with a shot that goes wide. Washington keeps it in. Human is back there fighting for it. He's getting hung all over by Maloney. Milik's trying to send it along the boards. Utah's really having trouble getting control of this puck right now. They need to control and not just whack at it. Arzumanov skates it into the corner. Maloney trying to get to it. And it looks like that's going to be Friedman back there as well. Now back out to the point to Arzumanov. He lets fly. Deflection right there in front. That was a dangerous deflection by Friedman, but fortunately Jurczyk managed to stick it away. And then Campbell chases after it, wraps it around the boards, up to Clank. Utah managed to keep it in. That's going to be Nahara. He skates around the corner, out to the point to Carpenter. He lets fly. Nice shot deflected by Pittman, but it goes a little bit high up over the net. Umina keeps it in to Nahara. Nahara's going to skate around into the corner, does a reverse, being pursued and checked hard by number 16, Prigodic. Puck is still in the corner. Finally, Prigodic comes up with it. And he sends it across to Arzumanov. Arzumanov has got support. He's got Aaron Miller and Prigodic. Sorry, not Miller, Morris. Puck ends up behind the net. Pittman's there. He scoops it up, gets by his man. He sees Nahara streaking for the blue line. Nahara isn't quite able to get his stick on the puck. Pittman's in there to help him out. Bunch of bodies going down, fighting there on the boards, right next to the bench. Now we got a shoving match. Still no penalty yet. It's interesting. There was like a lot of punching going on there, but nonetheless, here comes Strand across the blue line on the right side. He sends it behind the net. Umina skips it up. Puck is still in the corner there behind the Utah net. Jurczyk does a good job sticking it away. Still stuck in the Utah zone. Worth finally scoops it up. Tries to send it up to Fenny. Fenny tries to send it up to Worth, but Worth is like looking the other way, so it gets away from him. So Mudd's going in there, and scooped up by Monaco. Nice little move there. Nice stretch pass to Fenny. Fenny's got room to shoot, and he does, but it bounces off the shin guard of Williams, ends up in the corner. Puck bounces around. Finally, Smith scoops it up behind his own net, and he backhands it up. And takes a weird little bounce and gets by Olszewski. Fortunately, Umina's there to pick it up, and then he sends it up to Fenny. Fenny's going to have to skate hard, though, to beat Williams, and he doesn't. Williams managed to wrap it all around. Utah's going to have to come back out and reset. Here comes, it looks like Andy. Oh, he gets hung up. Nice little stick check there. Oh, sorry, not Andy, it was Milik. We got 12 minutes left in this game, left in the third period. Utah still trails by 1. They need that equalizer goal, and they need to get that soon. All right, taking the face off, it's going to be Endy facing off against Rimmerin. And Utah one-timer by O'Shea gets dumped in deep. Endy skates across the slot. Nice shot by Endy. Endy scooped that up, skated across the slot. He realized Acosta was a little bit slow moving to his left, and he tucks it in the near post, high in the corner, and Utah ties it up with 11 minutes, 48 seconds. Just like that. And here you can see in the replay, Endy's going to skate across the high slot, and he just goes for it, and there he goes. Beats Costa on that offside, on the glove side. Washington controls off the faceoff. Arzumanov up to Mahoney. Mahoney gets checked hard by O'Shea, who also managed to get him to lose his stick. And O'Shea loses an edge, and the puck bounces around back into the Utah zone. That was like a strange little sequence of events. Monaco's back there to scoop it up. He gets checked into the boards by Mahoney. And here comes Chow. He's got Umina. He carries across the blue line himself. Centering pass is intercepted by Maloney. And Maloney sends it up high up in the air, up to Friedman, and puck gets intercepted by Monaco, sends it up to Umina. Umina's trying to get it up to Chow. Chow trying to get it up along the boards, and Arzumanov actually knocks it down out of the air, and he controls the puck. Nice save by Jurczyk. Friedman scoops it up. He tries a centering pass, but it gets by everyone. And then here comes Luke. I believe that's Loose. He goes for a shot. And now we have a penalty, and it's going to be against Utah. And it's going to be Zach Monaco. It's going to go sit for 2 minutes for interference. He is not happy about that call. He's yelling something to the other player. Not sure what that was about. But now, after tying the game up, Utah's going to have to go on the penalty kill for 2 minutes. And unfortunately, Utah has not had very good numbers on their penalty kill. Right now, the penalty kill unit is Pittman, Moorhead, Nahara, and O'Shea. Washington controls, and right off the bat, Aaron Morse flings a shot that goes wide. Shippey recovers. One-timer by Klink. Hits a bunch of bodies and bounces into the corner. And Nahara is going to go for a short-hander, and he just dumps it in. And it looks like, I'm not sure what the call was. It looks like the line official made the call, so I'm not sure what that was. Maybe two-line pass? Anyway, it's going to come back. After all that work, it's going to come back to the Utah zone, to Jurgic's left. Utah's going to try and get a... Oh, nope, going to keep this not inside the Utah zone, just outside the Utah zone. But what I was saying about Utah's penalty killing unit is they have a pretty low percentage of penalty killing, only 47.37% success in keeping pucks out of the net during a penalty kill. So out of 19 tries, they've let in 10. And Washington again controlling. Klink trying to send him back along into the corner. And a one-timer by Morris, unsuccessful. Maloney goes for the rebound. Jurgic makes 2 saves and then somehow loses his face mask in the process in all the jostling. 1 minute, 13 seconds left in the penalty kill for Utah. That's a rough way to get introduced into the game, is get your helmet whacked off your face. It's all smiles, though. He's laughing about it. And we do now have a fresh penalty kill line. It's going to be Osola taking the face off. And it looks like that is Porter and Olszewski. And I can't quite tell who the fourth is. Looks like Carpenter. And Maloney scoops it up. 1 minute, 5 seconds left in the penalty kill. And oh my goodness, dangerous little bouncing around there, but it does get by everyone. Shippey sends it back into the corner. Olszewski manages to poke it away from his guy and then sends it all the way across ice. Costa actually has to stop it. Shippey picks it up behind his own net, being pursued, being checked by Porter. And now he carries it across the blue line and through the circle, gets past Olszewski, but Olszewski manages to ride him back behind the net. Now Maloney picks it up. Washington setting up their box. Klink picking up the rebound. Porter loses his stick. Another shot, another save by Jurgic, but the rebound gets away from him. Washington controls. 22 seconds left in the power play for Washington. Nice little save there by Jurgic on that wraparound attempt by Shippey. Aaron Morse picks it up. Back to Aaron at the point. Cross to Klink. Klink goes for a shot in traffic. I think that was a stick save by Jurgic. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. And Monaco comes back on the ice to join the party. And here we go. Monaco's going to go for a breakaway, but he's going to be beat by Costa, who just sends it back up to Shippey. And now Shippey's got a one-on-one with the goalie. I don't know what he was thinking. He just goes for a big slapper, and Jurgic pretty easily deflects that into the corner. Here comes Milik. He's going to come down the right side. He goes for a wrist shot that goes wide, and it wraps around. Moorhead's going to have to go chase it. And he, overskates a little bit. Then he picks it up. Back out to Carpenter. Nice little pass there to Umina, who drops a nice drop pass to Milik, and Milik goes for a shot that just goes wide. Andy to Chow. Actually gets past Chow to Umina, and Moorhead was there for the deflection. I don't know how that didn't go in, but Washington managed to keep that puck from going in the net. Umina sends it in deep. Oh, sorry, Moorhead sends it in deep. Luigi tries to send it up to Smith. Smith, he has some help. On the right side, he's got Rimmerin. He dumps it in. Sure enough, Rimmerin picks up in the corner, goes for the sending pass, kind of gets by everyone. Luce goes and pokes it in there, but it goes wide, hits a couple bodies and goes wide. Puck is still bouncing around behind the Utah net. Finally, Chow gets it. Little pass up to Milik. Milik gets tied up, though. He's got 1 on 3. He has some room, but it hits somebody in the shin pads and just drops out. Monaco manages to pick it up. He gets spun around a little bit, loses his feet. Then it gets dumped in by Pittman. And then the puck still bounces around. Rimmeren's swinging at it. Smith swinging at it. Pittman swinging at it. Finally scooped up by Umina, who finally controls it. Up to Monaco. Monaco skates it across. Gets across the blue line himself. Through the circle, goes for a wrist shot that goes high. And then he gets whacked pretty hard, so he's going to go to the bench. Smith on his knees, lead pass to Arzumanov. And nice little poke there by O'Shea, who gets it away from Arzumanov. And the puck is still bouncing around back there. Nahara's there. He finally scoops up behind his own net. He starts bringing it forward up to Osola. Osola tries to get a pass to Pittman. Pittman bounces around and the centering pass gets by everyone. And Maloney tries to go for a pass up to Friedman, but it gets by him, so Moorhead sends it back the other way. Osola sends it into the zone, and Utah decides to go for a change. We got 5 minutes, 51 seconds left in this game. And here comes Williams. He sends it in deep. Carpenter's going to have to go chase it. Umina's going to have to go chase it. And then here comes Umina. Up to Worth, who sends it in deep. Bounces off the glass. Fene scoops it up behind the net. Oh, he tries to get it out to Carpenter at the point, but it's intercepted by Strand, and Strand sends it out of the zone all the way into the Utah zone. So Worth's going to have to go back there, and Utah's going to have to start over. Pass up to Umina, up to Fene. Oh, it's broken up. Strand's going to have to try and go get it, but he's going to be beat there by Worth. Oh, maybe not. Puck is still bouncing around now to the circle. Friedman with a chance. It goes behind the net. We've got 5 minutes, 7 seconds left in this game. Both teams tied up. And of course, if we do end regulation time in a tie, we're going to go into sudden death overtime. Just what we need on a night when we're already late. Hopefully you all go and grab yourselves a beverage or a little snack and stay with me and stay up with me as we have our face-off in the Utah zone. Looks like that is Rimmerin facing off against Fene. Templin. Washington controls off the draw. Oh my goodness! And that centering pass, I did not see who actually tipped it in, but the centering pass from the corner. And just as I said, we have a tie game, and I did want to go into overtime. Washington heard me and punished me for saying that. Washington goes ahead, and it looks like that was Dan Smith was the one. Danny Smith tips that in. Washington takes the lead at 4:58 in the third period in the game. They lead now 6-5. Now Utah's going to really have to stay on their toes. Yep, nice tip in. It was a perfect tip in. Shot came in the corner. Oh, sorry, the shot actually came from Smith in the corner. And I didn't see the tip in. So I will try to update you when I get my digital scoreboard updated.
University of Washington goal scored by number 7, assisted by 53 and 44.
So the tip-in was actually by number 7. That's Michael Shippey. And indeed, the assist came from the corner by Danny Smith, who dug that puck out from the corner. All right, so we have a face-off now in the Washington zone. Looks like it's Endy facing off against Friedman. And Clank tries to bounce it around, intercepted by Endy. But then here it is. Arzumanov sends it in deep, gets scooped up by Olszewski. He does a quick little 180, sends it back around the net to O'Shea. O'Shea sends it high in the air. It's going to be a race. Milik is trying to get there. He's battling for it with Arzumanov, and he wins that battle. He managed to send the puck across the other side, but Utah's not there to scoop it up. O'Shea back to Olszewski. And Utah needs to really keep their head and not panic. They've still got 4 minutes, 11 seconds. That's plenty of time to score an equalizing goal. And the important thing is to not lose their heads, make sure that they stick to the game plan so they can build their offense. Also, they need to make sure they don't take any dumb penalties, as Patrick and I like to talk about, so they stay out of the box. And we are going to have a face-off now. It's going to be Pittman facing off for Utah. It's going to be Rimmerin facing off for Washington. Puck is still bouncing around in that circle. The line official's kind of hung up in the middle there. Finally, it comes loose. Well, maybe not. Now it comes loose. Washington dumps it out. And it looks like it's going to be icing. It is going to be icing. We have a lot of voices of dissent there, but I think the icing was legitimate because, again, it's not about touching up the puck. They got rid of that rule a couple of seasons ago. I'm thrilled to see that because there are a lot of really scary plays where you have two players charging hard to get to that puck before it crosses the goal line, the red line, and losing control and smashing those boards in the end. Anyway, loose. Clears the zone, gets picked up by Moorhead, out to Umina. He's trying to get it up to Nahara. Nahara's fighting for that puck, still fighting for the puck. It's still bouncing around. Finally gets sent loose by Smith, who sends a nice lead off to Shippey, and Shippey's got room to rumble. He's being defended there by Moorhead, and the puck actually looks like it ticks off of Moorhead's stick, ends up in the netting. 3:24 left in the game. Washington still with a 1-goal lead. Going to have face-off to Jurgic's left. And for Utah taking the face-off, it's going to be Pittman. And for Washington, it'll be Prigodic. And the puck ends up bouncing around the corner, still in the zone, Utah zone. Washington, Strand sends a wrist shot on goal, and Jurgic decides to just cover it up. He's going to hang on to it. Both teams change up their lines, or at least partially change up their lines. Prigodic taking the faceoff for Washington. Mudd for Utah. And the puck squirts out of the Utah zone, so that means Aaron Morse is going to have to chase after it. He swings it around, sends it up to Darren Morse, but it gets by his brother, and it's going to go deep into the Utah zone, and it's going to be icing, and we're going to come back to the Washington end of the ice. 3 minutes, 3 seconds left in the game. Utah still trailing by 1. Don't forget, tomorrow again, we're going to have these same two teams facing off at their usual time. It'll be 4:30 here at the Salt Lake City Sports Palace, followed by the men's 1 game where they're going to be facing Oregon. That game will be at 7:30. The puck pounces up high in the air, gloved by Costa. So facing off for Utah's Mudd. Facing off for Washington is Prigodic. And Umina recovers the puck. Tries a centering pass off to Mudd, and Mudd loses an edge, so the puck gets by him. Fenney is trying to keep it in. Williams is trying to get it out. He wraps around the boards around the back. Darren Morse tries to send it out, and he does. He tips it out. Sorry, Aaron Morse. Williams goes in the corner, pursued by Fenney. Templin keeps it in, sends it back to Fenney. Referee kind of gets hung up in there, and Templin's going to have to send it out to the point, out to Umina, who sends it all the way across to Endy, but it gets by Endy. He sends it up to the point. O'Shea keeps it in. Strand fighting for it. O'Shea, Endy comes up with it from the slot. Shot is high. 2 minutes left in the game. It'll be interesting to see as well if Utah decides in the last minute and a half to pull the goalie Jurgic to see if the man advantage will help. Maloney sends it into the Utah zone, but first Utah has to actually retain control of the puck long enough to make that a safe bet. Now here comes Endy across the blue line. He goes centering pass, gets past Umina. Puck is still there, being controlled by Washington. They finally clear it out. A minute and a half left in the game. Carpenter scoops it up behind his own net. Looks like maybe Utah's not going to pull the goalie. Endy out to Carpenter, back to Endy. He tries to send a pass up to Milik, and then scooped up by Chow. Chow gets ridden into the boards by Orzurmanov. And Carpenter's going to have to dig hard to go get that, but he's not going to get there in time. So we're going to have a face-off back in the Washington zone. And we have 1:09 left in the game, and Utah calls a timeout to figure out their strategy. So this may be when Utah will talk about pulling the goalie. If they can gain control of the puck, keep it in the Washington zone long enough, look for Jamie Jurczyk to head for the bench so that Utah can have a one-man advantage. It'll be 6-on-5. And, of course, Utah needs to tie this game up to have a chance at an overtime victory, still trailing by 1. Meanwhile, of course, Washington will be watching for that, looking for that, and all they need to do is get free because they'll have an empty net. So that's, of course, the risk involved. And again, we sure hope you can come out to the game if you've got, some free time. You want to watch some hockey. One thing that we should mention is that when you purchase your game day ticket, it is good for both games on the same date. So, for example, if you want to come a little bit early and watch the tail end of the men's 2 game, you can stick around for the men's 1, or you can come right at the beginning of the men's 2 game and stay for both games. So you get 2 for the price of 1. And tickets are available online. You can buy them ahead of time at utahhockey.com. And, of course, we are right here at the Salt Lake City Sports Complex, which is just north of Rice-Eccles Football Stadium. So if you would like to come and see some hockey in person, come on out. If not, tune into YouTube. I'll be here. Patrick will be here. And we'll welcome you to join us for the broadcast. All right. So, indeed, Utah starts off the period follows the timeout with Jurczyk out of the net. Utah has an extra skater on the ice. Yumina sends it up to Chow, who dumps it in deep, wraps it around. Andy's got to try and beat the puck there. O'Shea gets it at the point, sends it across to Yumina. Yumina's got room to shoot. Milik goes for the deflection that bounces off the glass, and he's going to try and beat it. Uh-oh, we got a problem. Here comes Arzumanov. He shoots for the empty net that goes wide. Chow's going to scoop it up. 33 seconds left in the game. Yumina scoops it up. Utah has time for probably 2 good chances, 2 good plays, 2 good charges. Milik cross blue line. He sends a shot in, and Costa wisely gloves it. Smart play by Costa because he wants to try and kill time. So he wants to make sure that we can run as much time off the clock as possible. He doesn't want to just dump it back to one of his defenders. He wants to try and run some time off the clock. Utah now has 21 seconds left in the game for the equalizer. Chow facing off against Prgotic. And there it is, empty netter by Washington. I was looking down my roster. I didn't see who shot the goal, but I'm going to guess it's Prgotic because he gets to be first in line for the high fives. But as soon as he looked up, he shot for the open net. So we're going to have a 2-goal lead for Washington. And sure enough, Jurczyk's going to come back into the net for the 14 seconds left in the game. And we will have our face-off back at center ice. So both teams back to 5-on-5. And another shot on goal. Jurczyk makes a save. Yumina scoops it up, wraps around the boards. It's going to be intercepted by Luce. Yumina looks up, realizes he's only got 1 second left. He makes a shot on goal. And Washington comes away with the victory on travel day. Washington wins 7-5 in regulation time. Once again, we'll be back tomorrow afternoon and evening. Please join us then. Until then, please stay safe. Make sure that if you are out on the road tonight that you stay safe, and we will be seeing you tomorrow. Thanks again for joining us. Have a good evening.